Welcome to Wine Wanderings. I'm continuing my discussion with Jason Haas, second generation proprietor of Tablas Creek Vineyard. Jason, you've been the past president and member of the Rhône Rangers, which were named by Wine Spectator back in 1989 to describe your terroir and your winemaking uh, styles. So, what is tell us a little bit about what that current mission is of the organization and why we care about it.
Sure. There's a great Wine Spectator cover from 1989 where they got Randall Graham, the inimitable proprietor of Bonnie Doon at the time, to dress up as the Lone Ranger and pose with a horse. And so they called him the Rhône Ranger. And he was really a pioneer in so many ways. He wasn't the first to make these kinds of wines, but he was definitely the first to dedicate an entire winery operation to making the grapes that were traditional to the Rhone Valley in the south of France, in California. And he's somebody who I think is still an inspiration. He's every bit as creative and every bit making as great wines now as he ever was. But in the late 90s, there were a group of like-minded winemakers who were all focused on the grapes of the Rhone Valley, but in California, who decided to get together to see, like at that point, it was really just to compare notes, to talk about what they were finding, to enjoy meals together, because these people were scattered around the state. And in the aftermath of that, one of them suggested that they call themselves the Rhone Rangers, and Randall generously agreed to lend that moniker to the larger organization. And then a few years after that, there was actually a nonprofit that was incorporated called the Rhone Rangers, with like an official mission and a board of directors. And I've served on that board for almost 20 years now. So the idea behind the organization is to get together those producers dedicated to the Rhone grape varieties and try to do education and promotion, get people understanding what's a fairly complicated sort of wine, because it's often blends. It's typically made from grapes that a lot of people don't know and can't pronounce. And there's not a single region in California that's associated with it, though I would say that at this point, Paso Robles is probably its epicenter. But still, there's great Rhone Rangers producers everywhere from the Sierra foothills to Sonoma to Santa Barbara to Eastern Washington and Southern Oregon and Texas. So it's a national organization. We've got something like 120 members scattered around the United States, and we get together 3-4 times a year to host tastings and seminars and events to try to spread the word about this category of wine that we all love and make.
Great. I enjoy your wines tremendously. So thank you for joining us on Wine Wanderings.
My pleasure.